with the goal that separates the two sides. Both teams have had their chances. Manningham had the ball in the net again through Ben Everson, but the offside flag ruling out the Englishman. And, of course, St Albans hitting the crossbar back the other way through Scott Bacor, but they were unable to pull one back. But it set things up beautifully for the second half, Nick. A really fascinating first half here at Penny's Reserve.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Manningham, obviously, the happier of the two to take the 1-0 advantage into half-time. But St Albans well in this game. We've talked about the set-piece opportunities they've had, some of the pace that they're breaking forward with. They'll definitely feel that there's an equaliser, potentially a winner in this game if they can keep lifting. So it sets up a huge second 45 here.
We're back in around 15 minutes' time here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. We do apologise for the technical issues that have plagued the streams right across the state today, but we're back around 15 minutes for the second half. Don't go anywhere. It's Manningham 1, St Albans 0. Welcome back to Penny's Reserve for the second half of this relegation six-pointer between Manningham and St Albans. We must apologise for those joining us here. We've had technical issues happening right across NPL Victoria YouTube today, which has affected all streams, but fingers crossed, we're all good. Hopefully that, we go through this second half all uninterrupted. But if you missed it, well, you definitely did, because you didn't get to see the goal. Manningham leading 1-0, courtesy of Ben Everson's first half strike. A beautiful finish into the bottom corner to give Manningham the lead going into the second half. It puts them in a really, really good position. Relegation place at the moment, but also 4 points clear of second last Moreland City. Nick Dabano and Nick Hughes here to take you through all the rest of the action. Nick, it's freezing cold here, but the action has certainly been hot on the field.
Yeah, I was grateful for the halftime break to just spend that 15 minutes with my hands in my pocket to get a bit of feeling back holding the microphone. But yeah, we mentioned it. Obviously at the halftime whistle, we've got a huge second 45 coming up here, and can't wait to see how both these teams approach it. Are Manningham going to sit back? How hard is St Albans going to push?
Early chance for Manningham as James Twintus is called offside there. Very attacking Manningham team out there today. Really, Junior Carter really the only sort of holding midfielder in that side, with the likes of Twintus and Golding and Ramirez and Everson all playing further up. And Manningham have had their chances to extend this advantage. Ben Everson did have the ball in the net again, but he was ruled out by the offside flag. St Albans' best chance coming through their English attacker, Scotty Bacour, who smacked the crossbar. It's Everson brings under control, feeds through Golding. Positive start here from the home side. Golding cutting inside, goes for goal. It's always rising, and that's out for a goal kick.
Well, if the first minute and a half is anything to go by, there won't be any resting on any laurels from Manningham's point of view. Immediately looking to get in behind with a couple of sharp balls and runs in. We've seen that a couple of times. We talked about Manningham, obviously their defensive record being the lowest in the league, but the excitement that they've brought in up front. I come back to that Oakley game where they chose to sit back early on, and it was only when they were a couple of goals down when they started playing a bit more free, and that was 10v11 on that afternoon as well, and they really took the game to Oakley. So hoping that they don't sit back and try too hard to just protect this lead.
Turgott wins the throw. Just looking on that far side, it is Brian Summerskill currently going through his warm-ups for St Albans. Summerskill has already scored 4 goals this season. Did score when the last time these two sides met. Player to really keep an eye on, a very creative midfielder, formerly of both Moreland City and Heidelberg United. Do wonder how long Cam Watson will wait until he makes that substitution. The ball rolls through there to Bullich and did go out of bounds, and out for a goal kick. Of course, Cam Watson becoming the St Albans coach a couple months ago now, replacing the outgoing Ryan McGuffey. Started the season as coach of Hume City before departing in the early going of that season, of this season as well, and replaced by David Chick. Of course, those two sides played last weekend. Hume winning 3-0 at Churchill Reserve. Bacour in a crossing position, floats it in towards Ramsey. Got a touch to it but couldn't control it. Turgott. Twintus goes to ground. Here's Burns. Feeding through Bacour in some space here. Cuts it back. And an awkward moment there for Ali Turgott. And he went to clear it and took an unfortunate ricochet and straight into the arms of Hayden Brown.
It's a really smart ball by Scott Bacour. It reminded me of the shot that he had when he hit the crossbar in the first half. Just doing really well to kill a difficult ball, get it under control and just fire it across the box. It's just, unfortunately for St Albans, just a fraction behind Alan Guerres. Not able to get a shot on.
Sovereign. Going to feed through Monek. Did come through to King. Here's Bakor. Cuts inside. Feeding through Monek. Ramsey in some space if they can find him. And his cross is blocked by Castiello, who got across and made a key intervention.
That had to go first time from Monek. Ramsey had made a really smart movement to just drop off for that angled cutback. Monek, as soon as he took that touch, allowed Castiello in to close that angle and win the ball.
Lovely bit of play from Carter to find Ramirez, and now he looks for Golding. Tashongo just gets back and makes a key intervention. But the danger isn't over, and it's out for a corner.
We've seen Tashongo's pace going forward. You see it there going back, making a really important toe on the ball to stop Golding from getting in.
Everson. Good to get in behind. Golding. Play on called. Here's Guerres. Well played from Castiello. He goes out for a throw-in. Bit of a mix-up there between assistant referee and referee there. The team still yet to turn to their benches just yet, but you get the sense that in the second half, both George Karkaletsis and Cam Watson will look to freshen things up. Manningham looking to kick on and preserve this lead and build on it. St Albans going to try to get themselves back into this contest. Sovereign. Burns does really well. Switching ball out, looking for Guerres. Well played by Tavella. Here is Burns again. St Albans club debut today. Tashongo. Driving forward. Still going Nelson Tashongo. Nicole gets across. Cholina. Golding wins it. Now looking to feed through Everson. Isolated with Gergic. Key intervention there from Gergic. And Bullich gets there and clears it away. A nice battle between Gergic and Everson this afternoon. But Michael Gergic getting one up on the Englishman on that occasion.
Yeah, that's been brilliant, those two coming up against each other. It's actually a really, really good touch by Ben Everson in the circumstances. He had absolutely no support, but Gergic recovered well with the tackle.
Monek cutting it back, looking for Ramsey. Cole did well. Ball crossed in again, and Tavella does well. Gergic. Sovereign. Back to King. It's a good spell here from the visitors. Can they make it count? Monek whips it in, looking for Ramsey. Finds him, and it just directs it wide. And I don't think Carter Ramsey knew too much about that one, Nick, because it looked like Dower Cole was going to get his head on it. And Ramsey's glancing header just wide of the mark.
That's the piece of quality in the box that St Albans have been missing. What a ball from Joseph Monek that was. Put it perfectly onto Carter Ramsey's head, and I think you're right, Nick. He was placed slightly behind the height of Dower Cole. Just couldn't get that contact on it. Flashes wide of the post. That's such a big chance for St Albans, but will give them plenty of encouragement as well to push on for the rest of this second half.
0-0 in the other game today in the top tier between Altona and Port Melbourne. 53 minutes played at Paisley Park, and plenty of goals in VPL 1 today. Langmore and Brunswick City, 3-2 to Langy. 2-2 in the Youth Melbourne derby between City and Victory, and Northcote leading 2-0 against North Geelong Warriors. Of course, also plenty of action happening in NPL Victoria Women's. Head on over to some of the other streams if you want to get a second or third game up. It's the beauty of the games being on YouTube. Keep abreast of what's happening right across the state.
Brilliant switch of play from Bakor.
Tashongo looking to feed through Guerres.
Always so impressed by Marco Tavella. punches above his weight a little bit in terms of his size and stature, but so committed.
Ramsey, good hold-up play there from the St Albans number 9, and gives away the foul. Getting involved a bit more here, Carter Ramsey, but still that second goal in St Albans colours just eludes him a little bit. They do have attacking options on the bench. Brian Summerskill and Josh Diven chief among them. And you would expect at some point both will be turned to. Summerskill with 4 goals to his name, Diven with 2. What have you made of Lucas Burns' debut, Nick? I mean, first game for St Albans coming across from Port Melbourne Sharks. I mean, started the game quite brightly, but he's had some moments.
Yeah, he has. I think we touched on a little bit that battle with Ali Turgut. It looked like it was going to be one of the heavyweight battles early on. You can see the turn of pace that Burns has, and he's come inside to find his own ball on a couple of occasions. Played some nice switches of play, but coming up against Turgut, who's been really good today, it's not always been easy for him, but I would say a solid debut thus far. He'd love to, I'm sure, cap it off with a goal or an assist and help his side back into this one.
Burns, Monac. Plays it in towards Bacour, but that's a great intervention from McCall. Now Golding looking to try push the pace back the other way. Al-Sadi. And through the legs of Tashongo, but Golding took a deflection off him, and he's not happy with that pass. He wanted it in front of him, and actually might work out for St Albans. And a big challenge from Tuntus. Manningham players not happy with that one, along with the fans to our left. Bacour. Here's Burns. Cuts inside Burns. He's in a shooting position. Burns goes for goal. Blocked by a call. Calls for a handball. Go unanswered. Cholina. Right to Guerres. Feeding through to Shongo. Big challenge from Golding. Might work out for Guerres, who puts it across the face. It's saved by Brown. And a big intervention from Carter before Ramsey could get on the end of it. Or just pinballing around inside the St Albans box. It's finally cleared, but it will come back to Shongo. Bacour. Now Monac cutting inside. Still going Joey Monac out to King. Here's Burns. Whips it in, and it's collected by Brown. Very nervous moment at the back there for Manningham.
Yeah, finally an opportunity for Brown to get the ball in his hands and just lie on it for a few seconds. And Cam Watson might be wondering how his side didn't draw level in that little flurry of 30 seconds to a minute. Going back to Lucas Burns, looked like Manningham rolled the red carpet out for him on the edge of the box, and it was only a matter of which corner he was going to pick out.
Oh, that was a big challenge there from James Tuntus, and he will go into the book. A yellow card awarded. A free kick in a dangerous position. Now for St Albans.
He's had a few today, James Tuntus. I think that yellow card is well earned, let's put it that way.
See a few of the Manningham players warming up on that far side. The sole St Albans player still is Brian Summerskill. You do wonder if who's going to blink first between the two coaches and look to bring on some fresh legs. St Albans have been the more dominant of the two teams in this second half so far. Can they find that all-important equaliser as the ball's floated in? Flicked on by Ramsey. Everson straight up into the air. It will come back. Bacour. Sovereign. Lovely bit of interplay there. Bacour. Cross is blocked and out for a throw.
Tavella again getting out to delay and then block that cross. But St Albans, you just sense that they're turning up the heat here. They want to take advantage of this little period and make sure they can put one in the net.
Joyce's cross is blocked and out for a corner. Does look like Manningham are about to make a substitution, but probably wait until after this set piece is taken. Burns coming across. Just keeping an eye on that short corner there. Guerres was offering, but goes ignored. Burns with the outswinger. Dangerous area. It's noted away by Carter. Looks like the ball actually went out of play, so it's the second time that's happened today. As we see, there'll be a substitution here for Manningham. It will be the end of the game for James Tuntis. Of course, he's on a yellow card and replaced by number 19, Reece Dufton. So a defensive move from Manningham. Ali Turgott now moving into midfield, but bring on a more natural defender to try and just steady things a little bit. As also St Albans making a substitution. It will be Brian Summerskill coming on here for Carter Ramsey. And a change in system here from St Albans. Burns and Guerres swapping wings, and Scott Bacour now playing as the sole number 9.
Just one of those days for a centre forward in Carter Ramsey. He was in and amongst it, but things just didn't quite fall for him.
Here's Guerres. Well played by Cole. Bacour.
With Reece Dufton coming on as well, was wondering if Lucas Burns, obviously having been out on that left-hand side, it might have been an opportunity for him to go at Dufton coming off the bench. We touched on that battle that he had with Turgott, but swapping flanks now, so a bit of a change of tact, as you mentioned, for St Albans.
Yellow card there for Marco Tavella. He's giving away that foul. It's really been all St Albans in the last 10 minutes or so of this game, Nick. Nelson Tashongo in particular has been very good at right back, really sort of being the bit of a barometer for them. He's starting to really get a foothold of that one-on-one battle with Tom Golding as well. Here he is in possession. King. Cholina. Going to feed through Summerskill, but a bit too much on that one, and Hayden Brown is happy to let that one roll for a few extra seconds.
He gave up on that one a little early, I reckon. Brian Summerskill was some nice little intricate play in the midfield. Through ball perhaps slightly over here, but Summerskill didn't fancy running after it.
What a ball there from Carter. Finds Golding. Whips it in, not a bad ball from Golding. It's nodded away, back out to Ramirez. Everson takes it first time. He's done it again. He gets his second after all. They soaked up the pressure and they take their chances back the other way. What a beautiful finish from Ben Everson, right through the arms of Marco Bulic. And Manningham take a 2-0 lead.
Well, that's a bit of smash and grab here as far as the first 17 and a half minutes of this second half have gone. But we talk about Ben Everson. He only needs one opportunity to provide a piece of quality. It was a good ball initially in, cleared out. St Albans not quite tight enough, and that first time finish, you can tell it's a pure number 9 finish. He knows where the goal is. He doesn't need to be looking at it. Hits it into the bottom corner on the turn. Marco Bulic will look back and feel he could have done a little better, but that's a massive goal for Manningham.
I mean, Nick, the other thing about that is the way it fell to Everson. How many times do you see players just blaze those ones over when it's rolling and they take it first time? But that was hit just so sweetly into the corner. Even if Bulic probably thinks he could have done a little bit better with that one. We know on the synthetic as well, Nick, the ball bobbles, the wet doesn't really help. So Ben Everson just lasering that into the corner. But now, how can St Albans respond? They were doing all the attacking. It'd just be such a gut punch after really dominating proceedings, and Manningham looking to go again. Foot races on between Gergich and Everson. Big challenge there from the St Albans centre-back, and it's out for a throw.
Yeah, you're right. That really does feel like a sucker punch for St Albans, coming straight after so much of their good work at the start of this second half. But again, we've still got 25 minutes to play plus. And we've talked about it. We know that Manningham have been susceptible to relinquishing some leads and getting themselves involved in some high-scoring affairs this season. So there's still no reason why St Albans should count themselves out, be dropping their heads, and they've got the options off the bench as well that we mentioned. So plenty of time if they can keep up. Certainly the way they've started this half, but Manningham, that's gold for them, that second goal.
I've got to ask Nick, how many times will you see 2 foul throws in the same game? Saw another one there, that time for Reece Dufton. It's just been one of those afternoons, but maybe the best sort of endorsement for those gloves.
Exactly right. Someone needs to get a glove sponsorship or something going at Manningham, or can get those little suction grips.
Well, if you do own a glove company and you are watching, maybe now's the time to get in touch. As we get into the winter months when there's a lot more wet weather. Everson, oh, what a touch. And he chases one down. He takes it on the second. And it fizzes across the face, but it will be kept alive by Golding. Oh, a lovely bit of work there from Golding. Getting across to help out was Cholina, and with a nervous moment at the back there from Sovereign. McCaw, fouled by Castiello. Ben Everson, I mean, the first touch, the way, the bit of invention was brilliant. It didn't look like he was even going to chase it down, but when he did, he still almost somehow got his hat-trick. That was just brilliant.
He's just one of those players, Ben Everson, that he does things where you just chuckle and shake your head and think he makes it look so easy. Looks like he's going through the motions at times, but the touch was fantastic, and the way it fell for him and the angle that was closing, he only had one option to take it first time, and from that position to flash it across goal, it was a decent effort.
And inside and firing was Guerres, and that wasn't far at all there from the St Albans number 7, but still their wait for a goal continues. It's been a frustrating afternoon for the visitors. It's only been a frustrating time for them on the road this year. Did get their first win on the road this year against Moreland City a couple of weeks ago, but we spoke about Nick and getting points in these little round robins between the three of these teams. Manningham now set to have 6 points to their name with still another meeting against Moreland City to come. St Albans, of course, have 6 to their name, but will it be enough to keep them up? We'll see in the coming weeks, but there's still time left in this one if they can turn things around quickly. Bakor, Junior Carter still on the deck, and St Albans haven't put the ball out. Ball floated in, Summerskill got a head to it. What a save from Brown. There's a huge stop there for the Manningham goalkeeper. And Brian Summerskill showing his danger inside the box, but Hayden Brown was quick to it. As Junior Carter now has a chance to receive some treatment after going down a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's a brilliant stop from Hayden Brown. I wasn't sure if it was a combination of Brown himself and maybe even the post, but I think definitely if it did hit the woodwork, it was Brown that affected it first. And Summerskill, we talked about him coming off the bench, picking up a good position in the box. A nice little header downwards, bouncing towards the goal. I think Manningham would have been furious to concede in that position with Junior Carter on the floor, but looks to be all sorted now.
St Albans have the throw as Manningham will continue with 10 for the time being. Monac. Carter now able to enter the play again, but it's a free kick to St Albans in a very dangerous position. If they're going to come back, St Albans, they do need to get their skates on. There still is 22 minutes remaining, but goals have been hard to come by for them this year. They've only scored 3 goals in their last 5. So scoring multiple goals has been a problem for them in a single game. So being able to score 2 certainly be big for them.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good point. Lowest scorers in the league so far this season.
Chance from the set piece here. Guerres floats it in, looking for Gergic, nodded away by Dufton. Now Ramirez looking to push the pace back the other way. Well played from the Colombian. And he's looking to go for goal, Jose Ramirez. And was speculative at best. That almost went out for a throw-in.
You could tell that was always on his mind. Even when he first picked the ball up, he was about in line with the St Albans bench when he first got it, but he always had eyes up looking at where the keeper was. I think Ben Everson will stick to the halfway efforts. Yeah. He might have a joke for his teammate in the change rooms tonight.
Ben Everson, of course, scoring from halfway earlier this year, going to the Reynolds Road end of Peters Reserve, if you'd like. I mean, maybe they have to rename it the Ben Everson end.
I think so.
Scoring that one against South Melbourne earlier this year. Ramirez looking to one-up him. Here's Carter, doing well to win the ball back. So calm on the ball, Junior Carter, but he turns it over there. It's good pressure from Summerskill. Does look like St Albans are about to make their second substitution of the game. Confirmation of that in just a moment. Burns. Here comes that substitution. Is Alangeres, whose afternoon will come to an end. He'll be replaced here by Josh Divins. So an attacking change here from St Albans. A bit more of a focal point up front in Josh Divin. 2 goals to his name this season. Dinmore starting to empty out their bench as Monek. Big challenge from Reece Dufton. And it's out for a corner.
I might have got away with one, St Albans. I reckon that came back off the Joseph Monek, the St Albans attacker, but they look to take this opportunity from the corner. You mentioned the focal point of Divin now. He'll certainly be amongst it in the box.
Summerskill plays it short. It might actually work out for Burns, who hits it. And it's well chased down by Dufton. And for a moment, it was all open for Burns, but it was well telegraphed by the Manningham defence to get back and shut it down before it became a worry. Bakor. Now Divin. Whips it in. Akol nods it away. Now Al-Sadi looking to push the pace back the other way, and his pass is a poor one. It's been a quiet second half for Mohamed Al-Sadi after a bright start. Here's Divin. Well played by Tavalla. Shutting down the Dinamo substitute. Monek skips around 1. Breezes through 2. Feeds King. Puts it across the face. Cole got a foot to it. And another nervous moment there. Summerskill. Puts it back into the area. Still a chance. Ball just pinballing everywhere, and it's finally cleared away. Calls for a handball against Jacob Sovereign. They go unrewarded. It'll be a throw-in for Manningham. And Everson just telling Tom Golden to slow it down, but back the other way there. Josh Divin and Scott Bakor, just a bit of boom crash opera inside the box there.
Yeah, might have even got each other's way as well. And a booking there for Thomas Golding, seemingly for time wasting. Now we've got Mohamed Al-Sadi on the floor for Manningham. But yes, St Albans, again, another big couple of chances. It was a lovely run initially through midfield, just gliding through traffic from Joseph Monek. And it's been a bit of the story of the day for St Albans. They're getting balls and bodies in the box, they're just not quite finding that killer instinct, the final pass, the final touch to get anything meaningful on goal. Obviously Carter Ramsey hit the crossbar, Scott Bakora hit the crossbar early. Haven't quite managed to come as close as that.
So as Mohamed Al-Sadi receives treatment, it does look like that Manningham will make a substitution in just a few moments, but update from around the ground, still 0-0 at Paisley Park between Altona and Port Melbourne. A point for Port Melbourne will take them 3 points clear of Dandy City in the race for 6th. Well, Manningham, of course, with this win, they'll go 4 points clear of St Albans and Moreland City in a race to survive over in VPL 1. It's been a crazy afternoon. 2-2 still in the youth derby between City and Victory. Northcote 2-1 up against North Geelong. Lang Warren 5-3 up against Brunswick City. Crazy, crazy afternoon.
It's looking like the game of the day out in
Lawton Park,
Victoria's East in the VPL1.
Yeah, Lockie Flanagan, who's commentating that one on the Langwarrin Facebook page, will be having an absolute field day today. Sure going to have to hear all about it later on.
Absolutely.
Here's Ben Everson looking to get behind Gergich. Half-assed appeals there for a handball. Ball fed over the top looking for Bakor. Castiello getting across. And the ball goes out of play and out for a throw-in. As will be a substitution coming up here for Manningham.
And there's just been a bit of a lull in this game that's suited Manningham perfectly. They've been able to take some time on some of these throw-ins and free kicks, and obviously a couple of players going down. It's just taken a little bit of the sting out of St Albans' momentum. The visitors will really need to pick themselves up. As you mentioned, Nick, time's ticking. They haven't had that freedom of goal-scoring ability throughout the season. So they need to find something to just get that energy, get that intensity back up.
Oh, a bit of a tangle there between Divin and Carter, and it's going to be a free kick to St Albans. An interesting decision there from the referee, but nonetheless, play continues.
Well, he had the whistle in his mouth, and I was just waiting for it to be blown for a free kick the other way, but fair enough. Maybe that is the moment that St Albans need. A bit of physicality, opportunity to get forward.
Well played from Summerskill, just got around Al-Sadi the last second. Here's to Shongo's, plays lining up in the middle. Plays it short. Cholina. Summerskill. Lovely touch from the Englishman. Puts into the area. A Cole does well again to nod it away. Now Golding looking to go back the other way for Manningham. It's a 4v2. He's got Everson in support. Looks to feed him in behind. Ben Everson, he's on a hat-trick. He gets around the goalkeeper. Can he finish? He can! Everson wraps up the 3 points for Manningham. What a performance from the Englishman. And his third goal could give Manningham a massive 3 points in their hopes of survival. Goal number 10 for the season for Ben Everson. And what a moment for the Blues. They're set to record their first win in around 2 months. And they're set to go 4 points clear of the drop.
Ben Everson, what a player. What a game from him. We talked about the gravity of this contest, this 6-pointer. You need your big players to step up in these moments. And boy, has Ben Everson stood up. A bit of a carbon copy of the offside goal in the first half. He just makes that run so well, so intelligent. This time, timing it to perfection. And he still had a bit to do, getting around the keeper. It was a good first touch, but the retreating defender on the line, the goalkeeper getting back. Sometimes you can see strikers rush in that scenario, trip over themselves or fail to make a good connection on the ball. But he finished with aplomb. Absolutely stellar performance from Ben Everson.
He just composed himself, Nick, and took it back onto his right foot. It was such a nice finish there from the Englishman. 10 goals this season now. Not saying it's impossible, but he's only 3 goals off Harry Sawyer, who's leading the Golden Boot. And boy, it would be a great story if he could chase him down in the coming weeks. They're going to need all the goals possible from Everson in the coming weeks if they are to survive. And here is David Mwawarabu, who's come on for Mohamed Al-Sadi for his Manningham debut, signing from Northcote City this week. One of the new faces for Manningham in this transfer window as a free kick's awarded here for St Albans. It's going to have to take something special for them to get themselves back into this contest. This loss, if it is still, as it is been mooted, that one team goes down, it's not entirely a hammer blow, but when you look at the teams that they come up against, they don't play Manningham or Moreland City again in this run home. Of course, 5 games in a row at home, but a lot of tough fixtures in there, and suddenly now they're out of control of their own destiny, Nick. They have to rely on Moreland City dropping points, and it gets hard, even if there is still plenty of time for them. As Summerskill floats it in, and it gets to a really nice position for Sovereign, who probably should have done better. And he puts it out for a goal kick.
It seemed to just come out of nowhere, and it's sort of no one's really reacted even now. That's a massive opportunity for Jacob Sovereign. Obviously, as we're ticking down, even at 3-1, they've still got a mountain to climb, but boy, that's a big opportunity gone begging.
Really should have done better there, the centre-back. I mean, it's an unfamiliar position, but really just sums up St Albans this afternoon, really their season to date. It's been a season of almost, as Turgott switching ball out to Golding. Turgott under pressure there from Summerskill, who has provided a lot of energy since coming on, but it's felt like at times has been a bit of a one-man band. He just hasn't been able to have the players around him provide that finishing product. There's ball into a good position from Monek. Divin goes to ground. It's a strong collision between him and Nicole, and here is Summerskill again. Going to play through to Shongo, but it was just behind him. And Golding is there to put it out for a throw-in.
Dale Cole's made some crunching challenges.
He's been huge today, hasn't he?
He has. You could see Divin was coming onto that ball. It's the kind of one where, you know, a Cole standing still, Divin has the momentum. It's just testament to a Cole's strength that Divin's the one that's feeling it the most.
Here you go, Manningham again. Everson looking for a fourth. Goes one way, but good challenge from Sovereign. And he wanted to add that one there, Nick. He wanted to really make sure of it. Wanted to make it, you know, 4, and add a fourth to his name as well. And boy, that would have really wrapped up the result if he got that one.
Well, you mentioned the Golden Boot race, Nick, and you said Everson will be looking for a few more goals in the coming weeks. And my thinking when you said that was, there's still 10 minutes to go. Who says he can't get another one, another two? And he was definitely sniffing one there. He put the hands up in apology to Junior Carter, who was in support. But a brilliant challenge it was from Sovereign.
To Shongo in a crossing position here. Whips it in, and it meets Bakor, who nods it wide. Just looking at that Golden Boot race, as it stands, Harry Sawyer on 13 goals first. We've got 4 players on 11 goals in second. Noel Bernarda, Alex Salmon, Stefan Zini and Kieran Bramwell. But Ben Everson and Amir Abdallah equal third at the moment on 10. Of course, a lot of teams still yet to play this weekend, but just something to keep an eye on. I mean, last season in VPL 1, Ben Everson came home like a freight train and had an amazing end to the season. So, seen him in the second division be able to score so many goals in VPL 1 or NPL 2 as it was then known. I mean, just up the road from here, Bulleen Lions, as Luke Lofts went on an amazing run and pinched the Golden Boot right at the end, and maybe Ben Everson could do something quite spectacular, and boy, wouldn't it be a story if he won the Golden Boot this year, Nick. I don't want to say I'm talking to his sister. I'm barracking for it. I'm just putting it out there in the co-work. Something just to keep an eye on if he keeps scoring like this.
It'd be a fantastic, absolutely fantastic story. You always look at teams in this position when they have that linchpin up front. It's not only the goals, you know, in terms of the total or the, you know, quality of the goals necessarily, but it's the moments where they stand up. This is such a huge game where you're looking for your stars, like I mentioned earlier, and for him to come up with a hat-trick, that's epitomises the impact he has on this team. And when you look at the end of the season, you know, who knows where the table will end up. You look at a hat-trick and a 3-0 win in a game like this could be a game where you think, well, this is sort of the moment where Manningham perhaps clinch safety or go a long way to clinching safety.
That game in 2 weeks' time against Moreland City certainly shapes as the one that could all but secure safety if they had to go 7 points clear in the coming weeks. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen next week. As now it's a chance for Ramirez. He's got Everson in the middle. He finds him, Everson for a fourth! Oh, he's just put it over. Inches away from his fourth. And you get a sense, Nick, that fourth goal is coming.
Everyone around Petty's Reserve is just waiting for him to get in on goal again.
Here's Bakor. He goes back the other way and he puts it well wide. As we will see a double change here for Manningham, and Ben Everson's afternoon will come to an end. He won't get his fourth goal, but he will get the match ball at least. A hat-trick which could be so key for Manningham's season. And his afternoon comes to an end. He's going to be replaced here by number 88, Lucas Herovim. Also going to be Alex Castiello coming off here, and he's going to be replaced by Ayrton Redmore for his club debut since coming across from Brunswick Juventus. Also Max King coming off here for St Albans. I believe he's been replaced here by Luca Cabrera. Confirmation of that in just a second. And there's Cabrera, who is on here, one of the youngsters at St Albans as Turgot. He's happy to slow things down. This cross takes a deflection and it's out for a corner. Up next for Manningham, Melbourne Knights away on Friday night. Knights have been one of the form teams in the competition the last few weeks. They're chasing a finals berth. It's going to be a huge contest for them. And after that, Moreland City at home. A massive game for Manningham before then 2 road games against Hume and Dandy City, which won't be easy. Corner taken short here to Carter. Gets to the byline. Floats it in. Cole gets a head to it, and he makes it 4. Game, set, match, Manningham. They're having a party out here at Petty's Reserve now. And Dower Cole with his first goal of the season. And the Blues are one step closer to safety. A massive, massive goal for them. But for St Albans, back to the drawing board. But what a beautiful finish there from Cole with his head.
I think it's fair to say Ben Everson leaves today as the man of the match. But in about as close as possible as someone could be to a hat-trick scorer in second place would definitely be Dower Cole. He's been immense at the back, whether it be in the air or on the ground. His strength, his leadership at the back, and he's richly deserving that goal. And what a header it was. He's on the back foot, rises up. You can see the straining his neck to power that header back towards where the ball was coming from. Wrong footing the keeper, straight into the corner of the net, and right on cue there he is with yet another clearance. Brilliant, brilliant display from Dower Cole.
This is now becoming a bit of a statement performance for Manningham, to really just running over the top of St Albans. And it's quite amazing because Manningham were up by a goal at half time, and St Albans started this second half, you would say, the better of the two teams with a lot of energy, and looked like that they were the more likely to get that next goal. But after Everson scored the second and put that result beyond doubt, it's really been one-way traffic. And, well, for St Albans, they won't be leaving Churchill Reserve for the next few weeks. 5 straight games in a row at home. So if they're going to be looking to survive, they've got to now do it against some of the more difficult sides. Heidelberg, Altona, Oakley and Dandy Thunder in their next 4. 2 of those games against Heidelberg and Oakley, not easy. Even though Oakley in a bit of a rough run of form. Altona and Dandy Thunder, though, they're games that they'd certainly be looking at. As we know, at this point in the season, Nick, every point is gold. So even if they don't win all those games, a few draws could still be handy. Of course, they'll be keeping an eye on what happens with Moreland City, who do play Hume next week at home. This relegation race set to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, exactly right. They need to make sure they can shrug this result off, obviously look back on it and analyse and figure out where things went wrong and improve for next week and the weeks to come. They need to make sure they don't drop their heads. Nothing is done after today. There's still so much football left to be played in this season, and as you mentioned, it is still so tight. Same goes for Manningham. We might look at 4 points as it obviously is huge when you look at the fact that each of these teams before today had only won 3 games, but 4 points is by no means an insurmountable deficit. So St Albans just need to keep their heads, regather, and you mentioned they do have a tough run, but use that home ground advantage and dig in for a big ride into the end of this season.
Still plenty of football over the next 6 weeks, which will determine who survives, of course, as well. Plenty happening in the finals race, the premiership race. It's all happening here in NPL Victoria, so it's set to be a thrilling end to this season. And of course as well, in VPL 1, we'll give you some updates from some games in just a moment, because the promotion race has taken a little bit of a turn. Of course, Preston losing yesterday against Eastern Lions shook things up just a little bit. But Nick, I believe North Geelong have just equalised against Northcote.
They sure have, in exactly the same fashion as last week against a promotion hopeful in Western United.
We'll come back to in just a sec, because Manningham are looking for the Manita. He's Golding. Going to play it back towards Tavella, and I'll play it from Divin. And in the other game, Nick, Melbourne City leading 3-2 against Melbourne Victory.
Yeah, well, I was just mentioning there, North Geelong Warriors did it last week, came from 2-0 down to take a point off Western United. They've done it again this week against Northcote City. So that one's 2-2 heading into the final minutes. And Melbourne City, who took a 1-0 lead against Victory, then went down 2-1. Now up 3-2, so it could be the top three in VPL 1 dropping points.
That certainly opens the door for Western United, who are in action against Caroline Springs George Cross very, very soon, as St Albans win a corner here. Of course, it also helps out Lane Warren to some extent. It keeps their hopes alive after what looks to be a victory for them against Brunswick City. So we saw what Manningham did last year. And in the words of Lloyd Christmas, you're telling me there's a chance. Ball floated in. Brown fists it away, and it's clear by Turgott.
I think it's been a really positive debut in goal for Hayden Brown for Manningham. They've tinkered a little bit with that goalkeeper position. Obviously, we've touched a couple of times on their defensive record. George Zamaranis has, in the main, had the gloves in the number one spot, but Brown's come in and done very well. And looks to be clinching, again, as we mentioned, just the second clean sheet of the season. So that's a massive positive.
Dufton. No free kick awarded, even though he looked like he was being wrestled to the turf. Chelina.
Oh, what a ball.
Good ball to Monek. St Albans potentially get a consolation goal here. Divin. Harabu gets across, and they're going to push the pace back the other way. Divin getting back. Monek plays it on the deck, and Nicole does well, getting across and making another big challenge. Certainly been among the best today, as that ball is floated in and collected with ease by Hayden Brown, who can just take up some precious seconds. As Manningham set to claim their fourth win of the season. Their last win coming all the way back on the 13th of April against Moreland City at CB Smith Reserve. So it's been a long time coming. Burns cuts inside, takes a deflection. Divin takes it on the second touch. Bacour! And it's over the bar, and that really just sums up the afternoon for St Albans. It's been almost, but just not enough.
Yeah, it sure does. The deflections, the balls that have been just out of reach, just haven't fallen their way. I think 4-0, I mean, Manningham certainly deserved winners and the better team across the game. St Albans had their spells. 4-0's probably a little harsh on the visitors, and again, and that's more reason to make sure they're not dropping their heads too much, and they can pick themselves up for the run into the season.
Well, the other game at Paisley Park, Altona taking a 1-0 lead against Port Melbourne, which certainly throws a spanner in the works of the finals race. Both Green Gully and Melbourne Knights, who are in action later on tonight, be licking their lips for the chance to really cut into that gap and set things up for a grandstand finish in the race for 6th. And you wouldn't believe it, North Geelong Warriors, who are bottom of the VPL 1 at the moment, have just taken a 3-2 lead against Northcote.
Wow.
And North Geelong, of course, who were relegated from NPL Victoria. They've had a tough season, but that is a massive win in their hopes of survival and avoiding double relegation. But a huge, huge hammer blow as Melbourne Victory have just equalised against Melbourne City. It's all happening in VPL 1 at the moment. And I believe the score between Langwarrin and Brunswick City is 6-3 at the moment.
Wow.
So it's been just a chaotic afternoon of Victorian football as Summerskill getting forward. Feeds through Diven. Cross is blocked by Tavalla. Redmore clears straight back to Tashongo, who has a go. Deflection off Moarabu, and Brown is there to pick it up. As sense that there's only seconds remaining in this game. The sweet, sweet taste of victory at last for Manningham. It's been over 2 months in the making, but they come away with an all-important 3 points. That takes them one step closer to salvation. A 4-0 win over St Albans, their relegation rivals. A hat-trick from Ben Everson and a goal from Dower Cole, wrapping up the win for Manningham, who are now 4 points clear of the drop, heading into the final 6 games of the season. Just an incredible performance from the Englishman, who led from the front all afternoon, helping Manningham to a massive 3 points. Nick, what an incredible game here for Manningham. What an incredible performance. St Albans, though, on the other hand, they'll be wondering where those next points come from in their hopes of survival. But Manningham, what a win for them today.
That's an absolutely massive result. We touched on it earlier on in the broadcast at the start of the day. Their home form, coming in with the confidence of knowing this ground and coming in such a big game in these little battles between the bottom 3 sides. And they were excellent. You know, there were times where they needed to weather the storm, and they did so with Dower Cole and Castiello at the back, and Ben Everson. Enough said. What a superb match-winning performance it was from Manningham's number 9. Worthy of winning any game. And he certainly won this game for Manningham today. And that is a priceless 3 points for the Blues.
Well, we'll be signing off here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. Thank you very much for joining us on the call today. Obviously, apologies again for technical issues in the first half. But signing off from Petty's Reserve with Manningham, coming away 4-0 winners over St Albans.